This episode may contain bad language, mainly by blind. Viewer discretion applied.
Good evening, Max, and welcome to a special episode of NUSS About That. As requested by one of our viewers, tonight is the NUSS Super 6. Lads, thank you so much for joining tonight. Blaine, Marcus, I'm really looking forward to this one tonight. I don't know about you guys.
It's going to be a good laugh, that's for sure.
Aye. Well, it'll not be such a laugh to use because I'm going to come out on top.
Confident early on, aggressive, confident. Is that how your team's going to be as well?
No getting in and away at the minute.
Should we expect any surprises tonight, do you think, Marcus?
Yeah, I reckon that I'm trying to think of a name off the top of my head who Blaine might throw in wildly. Cabaye.
I didn't actually know he was he's managing a side at the minute, isn't he? Over in France, and apparently I think he's doing pretty well.
Yeah, Newcastle are sniffing about one of his players, aren't they?
Aye. But that was weird. That was like a step back in time when I actually read and I seen that he was managing. I was like, what the hell? Because I actually think he was all right. The other kind of guys that were all right that come in for a couple of seasons or whatever, Sebastian Bassong, I thought he was brilliant that first season. Remember, he come in as a young lad that he wasn't expecting to get a game. But did we get relegated that season? But he played because we had some injuries. And then I think he went to Spurs, maybe the year we went down. But he was another wee cracking player, I felt. But it shows you the dark days that we've had, if we're talking about them being cracking players.
I'm certainly hoping it's more Aaron Hughes than it is Titus Bramble tonight, lads. So, before we kick off, if anyone else at home wants to join us, grab a beer, sit back, relax, and enjoy the NUSS Super 6. So, lads, to kick the draft off tonight, we are going to do what we always do at NUSS, right? The good old famous wheel spinner. Now, let's see if we can get the Super 6 draft up.
I was going to say, I'm wanting to see this. I'll be calling fix if I don't see this wheel spinning.
So this will be for who gets first pick of their 6 players, and then we'll ascertain who gets the second pick, and then it'll obviously be left to the third person to have their third pick. We'll go through that, and then we'll repeat that order for the last set of players. So we'll give it a shuffle. Your name's on there a couple of times each. I think 6, funnily enough. Why 6? Somebody might ask, right? Because it's one more than 5 a size. That's one less than 7 a size. I'm not doing the whole 6-7 thing on maybe lad will with that. But best of luck, lads. Let's find out who's getting first pick tonight. Go on, you mother. Go on, you mother. Blaine, congratulations, buddy. Blaine is getting first pick. Between myself and you, Marcus, we'll give it a couple of shuffles. And we'll give it a spin. Best of luck, buddy.
Oh, well, I'm going to have slim pickings here, aren't
I? So Blaine's got first pick. Marcus has got third pick. And I'll go in the middle. So, Blaine, out of all the positions, which one are you most keen to secure?
Do you know what? See, when I come out first there, I thought, that's fine, I've got this sorted, I know who I'm going to pick. But actually, I'm scared if I pick one, then somebody's going to pick my second choice.
Get it over and done with, come on.
Right, let's no beat about the bush. I'll go Shearer.
What a surprise.
Aye.
Alan Shearer. So he's went with Big Al, right? Does it get any better that? You know you're going to be getting goals in your team.
To win games, you need to score goals. The obvious fact. And that's what Shearer brings you. I told you 2-3 minutes ago at the start, when you introduced what was happening, that my team would come out on top. And at the minute, used to only guaranteed goals, like what I'm guaranteed goals. So I'm still confident at this moment in time.
Goals do win football games, but there's other ways to kind of negate that, right? To stop the other team scoring is usually a good way. So let me get down on with my first pick then. My first pick was an absolute bargain of a player that we managed to have for over a decade, and he cost just £1.5 million from Blackburn Rovers. I'm going to start off, keep it robust, keep it safe, with safe hands, Shay. That's where I'm starting it up. I'm keeping it tight with safe hands, Shay, in my goal. So you might have Shearer up top, but I've got pretty robust goalkeeper, I think, and Shay Given.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I will go third then. And hang on, sorry, 2 seconds. What's that? That's the ball going over my head like Schmeichel did with Philip Albert.
Nice. Nice choice.
Philippe Albert, that's a solid choice. Did you have him on your list, Blaine?
Albert was actually number 4 in my defenders list. So I've got 3 others who I think actually would be better.
In terms of that first round, Blaine, you've got your top choice striker. I've
Yep.
got my top choice goalkeeper. And Marcus, are you happy you've got your main man at centre half?
Yep, 100%. I also had Shay Given and Shearer on my list as well. Come as no surprise.
Did you have Given by any way, Blaine?
Maybe it'll be a surprise to you boys, but Given's number 2 for me out goalkeepers. But I'll explain the reason when I get to come and choose my goalkeeper.
Well, you're up next, buddy. That was the first circle of drafts complete. We move on to the second round.
So is it me still first pick for all rounds? Yeah, is that right? Oh, yeah, that's a... one thing...
I demand a recount.
Commissioner Cat, pardon away.
One thing we never told the viewers that we kind of discussed about when we were picking these teams, that we had to be alive to be able to see, or we had to be alive for these players playing during this period of time. And Marcus, what year were you born?
I was born 1990.
So unfortunately, Marcus wouldn't have been alive to be able to pick this player. So I was in a fortunate position, and it was between me and yourself, Taylor. So I'm going to go for midfielder Gaza. How do you like him in your 6-a-side team? I've now got Gaza and Shearer.
It wasn't in my list. Oh, what a great shout, though, right? Very tricky player. Yeah, no, he wasn't in my list. Great player.
He's probably... Is he potentially the most gifted English footballer that's ever been?
Well, I'm going to beg to differ. So I'm going to follow your Gaza, and I'm going to raise you one Peter Beardsley, who is arguably not just one of the greatest players that have ever played for Newcastle, but one of the greatest players I've ever seen with a football at his feet. Probably one of the reasons I started supporting Newcastle as well. I remember walking into my dad's bedroom and he'd be sitting there in these ridiculous purple Puma shorts. The irony is I've actually got a bloody pair of purple shorts now that remind me of these things that he used to wear back in the day. And he had the blue McEwen shirt on and Pedro was his man. So that was kind of got me in love with Pedro. And as we said on the previous kind of podcast, we had the pleasure of actually meeting him, right? He was just an absolute legend. So yeah, guys, it's great. Very blessed, very talented, but I'll raise Peter Beardsley and secure him in the middle of my pack.
I went to defender first, and now I'm going for a midfielder, and I see both of you, and I raise you Rob Lee. I mean, the original midfield patroller, kick anything. Yeah, the OG. I don't think I need to say too much about Rob Lee. I think that picks itself.
I agree. He's one of my favourite all-time players, but he wouldn't have made my 6-a-side team. He'd probably make my 11. But thinking about purely 6-a-side team, I went for a totally different mentality and different way of thinking a 6-a-side team.
He's got an engine that'll outrun everyone, though.
Aye. Does need denying that. Need denying that.
He's a different dynamic, and I'm surprised, Blaine. I thought he would have been your second name out. I thought it would have been Shearer followed by Rob Lee.
Aye. Yeah. We've had a few discussions about Rob Lee, so I can understand why people would think that. But as I'm saying, I'm thinking to maybe give a clue the route that I'm looking at. I'm maybe looking at baller league style 5-a-side rather than anything else. So I think you need a bit of pace, a bit of power, a bit of skill in order to be a good six-a-side team. So that's us at end of round 2.
2 rounds down. So you've got who you sitting with, Shearer and Gaza,
You're in Gaza.
and who have you got, Marcus?
I have got Albert and Rob Lee.
And I'm going with Given and Pedro. Who have you got next, Blaine? Take us through round 3.
So again, as I've said, I'm looking for a wee bit of flair within my team, but a wee bit of grit, a wee bit of desire, a hell of a lot of passion, and a lot of samba flair. So I am having Bruno G in my six-a-side team. And he's going to sit as that kind of defensive midfielder, just sitting at that 6, allowing the attacking players, but also with the ability to break up play, drive forward. And we've all seen the samba skills that boy has. He sometimes plays as though he's playing futsal on the pitch at times. So that's going to be a talent that's got to be brought to my six-a-side team.
Oh, it's not a great shout. Where do we go from here? So let me just get my kind of defensive duties potentially finished off. I've got a goalkeeper, I've got a midfielder. We need somebody to tidy up because Pedro's the one I want to get forward. I don't want to leave Shay Given exposed. So I'm going to go with Mr. Cool, calm and collected and composed. 8 years or so we had with him and that wonderful hair. I'm going to go with Captain Coloccini.
He was number 3 for me. Number 3 in my defenders.
Believe it or not, I'd only considered Coloccini for this position. So I actually had to go back because I thought it was a draft, right? Somebody else might snap call, but I was so set on Coloccini. Jonathan Woodgate had entered my thinking at one point. I've just never seen enough of him at Newcastle, but in terms of what Jonathan Woodgate offered as a football player, he was up there as a shout. But yeah, I've went for Mr. Coloccini above Philippe Albert and above Fabian Schär.
Marcus is smiling because he's about to snap up Jonathan Woodgate.
No, I was laughing because he is on my list, but no, I'm not. That is getting left to the side. And I'm smiling because you mentioned flair, and that is exactly what I'm going for next. And this one might come as a bit of a surprise to a few people, but my next pick is Hatton Ben Arthur.
Damn it, he's on my list. I've got Gaza 1 and Ben Arthur 2.
Ben Arthur's on my list as well as with that from the reaction.
If everyone looks really carefully, there's only one person on the screen smiling, and it's not Taylor or Blaine.
I don't know, I've got Shearer. I'm always smiling.
Ben Arthur, man. Remember that rocket against Villa that he scored? The mazy run against Bolton. He's just so good in tight spaces. So if you're in a six-a-side team where you're getting pressed up against, if you can get him motivated, Marcus, and if you can get him playing on a 10 in your six-a-side tournament, then that's an absolute incredible signing.
He's sensational. He was going to be my next pick. So that's kind of threw a wee spanner there for me. Because I think that my goalkeeper and defence is going to be sound. I don't think you are necessarily going to say them, or if you are, I've got good backups. But Ben Arthur was my next pick.
You've just ripped the soul out of Blaine and I think that's probably a great time to just compose ourselves, take a break, and hear a word from our sponsors.
This episode is proudly supported by TMA Accountants, based across Dundee and Fife. TMA specialise in helping businesses, the self-employed, and individuals stay on top of their accounts, tax affairs, and long-term tax planning. With offices in Broughty Ferry and Anstruther, their team covers everything from bookkeeping and payroll to tax advice and business support, freeing up your time so you can focus on what actually moves your business forward. So whether you're running a growing company or juggling self-employed life, TMA Accountants are here to help you stay organised, compliant, and confident. We're delighted to have them backing the podcast and supporting the wider community.
Fleming & Gibson Plumbing and Heating are your trusted experts for plumbing, heating, electrical and renewable energy solutions. From emergency repairs to full boiler installations, their accredited team delivers quality workmanship that you can rely on. They offer complete bathroom design and installation from their dedicated showroom for a reliable service, modern renewables, and work done right first time. Choose Fleming and Gibson, accredited, compliant and trusted.
And welcome back. And yeah, again, just a massive thanks to our sponsors, Fleming and Gibson, Plumbing and Heating, and to TMA Accountants. They're sponsoring the show. We really couldn't have done the show without you guys. So just absolute massive thanks for taking a leap of faith and believing in us, and for sponsoring the pod. Before the break, though, Marcus has just ripped the arse right out of me and Blaine, sent ripples right through the draft by picking a team Ben Arthur. Blaine, kick us off. Round 4.
Still lost for words. I still can't get over that Ben Arthur bomb, to be fair.
We only took the advert break so you could have a cry.
Aye, that's had to go and reevaluate my life as well as my team. Although I don't think any of you are going to pick him, I'm just going to get this guy out the way now to make sure that he's in my team. He is my favourite current player at this moment in time. You lads all know because I rave about him consistently all the time. I am going to pick Lewis Hall. Simple fact, he is sensational defender, can tackle, can clear it. But as you've seen in the last few weeks and months, he could pick the ball up, he could take on 5 boys, back heel it, pass it, shoot, anything he wants. So in a 6-a-side team, if you've got somebody who could get up and doing that, has a skill to jink through, as well as provide that cover at the back, I think that is exactly what you need.
Well, let me get my next pick in, and we'll see where we're at. I'm going to get one of my strikers out the way. And this might surprise you as to who I've picked as my striker. I went with Big Duncan Ferguson. And the reason I went with Big Duncan Ferguson is because this is a 6-a-side football game. It's not an 11-a-side game where the normal rules apply. And they generally find that 5s and 6s, things can get a wee bit rough and tumble sometimes, right? And any of your boys start getting a wee bit rowdy or out of hand, and Duncan's just tossing out solar plex punches left, right, and centre, just nipping it in the bud, just being really aggressive, really dominating. And actually, like, for as aggressive and dominating as he was, he never actually got sent off when he was at Newcastle. And he was only there for a relatively short period of time. But within that, I need somebody to protect Peter when he's going forward and stuff. And I think there ain't nobody doing a better job of that than Big Duncan Ferguson.
It's funny because I would never have considered him. And I think one of the reasons why I would never consider him is always when I've played 5 or 6-a-side, the ball's never allowed above head height. It's always under head height. And predominantly, I think Donkey's been on the end of big crosses and scoring these type of goals. So when you can't cross it to score a header, he's not somebody that I've considered or thought about, to be honest.
Would argue that Duncan Ferguson was a fantastic footballer. Like his ability to strike a football from outside the box. He can hit the ball for a big lad. He can hold the ball up really, really well as well. He's strong, and as I say, he's in my team because of that. His physicality, and that's why he's made my team. And he can hit it for a big lad as well. He can fairly scalp the ball. So I'm going Big Dunk. Marcus, give us your 4th.
So again, I'm going for a striker because I have a defender, midfielder, 2 midfielders, and my striker is going to be Andy Cole. Gets the ball, scores a goal. Andy Cole.
I like it. He was phenomenal. Really, really, really phenomenal.
Kind of fast paced, knows where the goal is. Perfect for a 6-a-side. I was between that and Les Ferdinand, but yeah, I think between those two. But I think Andy Cole's probably a bit more mobile than Ferdinand.
I would argue with Andy Cole, right?
I also saw him at my nursery. He turned up at my nursery one day, and yeah, I was like, "Oh Jesus, I was watching you on TV last night."
Brilliant. Andy Cole scores a goal. Superb. So that's 4 rounds down. Let's kick on with the 5th round then. Blaine, you're up first for your next pick.
I'm between I'm between two currently at the moment. In fact, I tell you what, I'm going to throw a curveball just now, even though none of yous will pick him for my goalkeeper. I'm going to go Aaron Ramsdale.
What?
Oh, that is outrageous.
Right.
That is-
Time out.
No.
You're a sick individual.
What have you what have you put in that drink?
So I'm going Aaron Ramsdale on the basis that his passing ability is fantastic. And at 5 or 6 aside, if I need that wee ball dinked into feet rather than have somebody that's going to struggle to play the quick passes, that's why I've picked Aaron Ramsdale as my goalkeeper. And I know that might be a shocker to some, but I'm still extremely happy with that.
I'm glad I'm sitting down after something like that.
Aye.
That's wild.
I
Aaron
freeze
Ramsdale.
there, eh?
Ahead of Pav.
Aye.
So you've only got one more to
get
pick.
somebody decent.
You make kind there, yeah? Because you took Shearer, you know, for generous to the boys,
That's
and you take Aaron Ramsdale. Well, let me just
I've
assure
took
you.
Andy Cole. I've took Andy Cole and Hatton Ben Offer, and that's it. I've got him reeling. He's against the ropes here.
Ferguson's having a field day with Aaron Ramsdale, just standing on top of him as Peter Beardsley just comes and just taps it in. Peter Beardsley, goals, goals, goals. Duncan Ferguson knocking balls down to him all day long.
I could have picked Lionel Perez for my goalkeeper and still would have won. So it really didn't matter who I had in goals, to be fair.
Well, let's do that then. Like, why don't you take something like John Persley or somebody like that then? John Persley, Lionel Perez. It was a great shirt, Lionel Perez, boy. Remember that? Fluorescent yellow, we call it that, and blue. A track and goalkeeper shirt as well, but he was local. And, like, did we not get him after he played for the Mob?
Aye. I remember actually, I was at a friendly at Tannadice, so we were playing Dundee United. I must have been between 97 and 97, 99 maybe.
Remember that?
And-
he was in the goal.
And Perez was in goals. And we were actually sitting next to Sandy Clark. He was old manager of St Johnson.
Johnson manager, oh, that's right.
And I remember there was fans turned round and they'd say, Sandy, just signing this fucking shite we've got in goals. And it was because we had Lionel Perez.
That game as well, mate. We'd have been sat at that same game. I
Aye.
was a little younger back then, right enough. Less grey hair. Yeah, but Lionel Perez, mate. So I'm assuming you're not changing to Lionel Perez or John Carsley. Are you happy with?
As I said, honestly, I could play no goalkeeper Lionel Perez if he's want, but I'm happy with Ramsdale.
So are you passing the baton then on your fab? Right. Where am I at? Let's reevaluate the situation. In terms of midfielders, the next one I'm going to go with is Lauren Robert. There's nobody better than Lauren Robert for taking that long-range free kick. Sweet left foot, so I know that left-hand side is going to be covered. Then I rely on him to track back. But that's up to me to try and get the best out of him, right? And the best version of Lauren Robert on that left-hand side. So yeah, my next pick is the French Robin.
See, when I said I was between two, and then I says, I'll gamble and go for my goalkeeper, it was somebody and Lauren Robert.
Yeah,
Still happy with Ramsdale.
Lauren Robert wasn't on my list. If you want to know how powerful Lauren Robert's foot is, go and ask Olivia Bernard.
Aye.
I think that guy's still seeing birds above his head, I think.
Apparently he still does it.
So I need a goalkeeper, and I think it would be against some kind of international law that I wear this goalkeeper top without picking the one and only Pavel Cernicek.
Fair enough.
I think that picks itself. I don't think there's much needing said about that. Rest his soul.
It's your period you spent with us as well, right? So you went away and you come back again. Over 190 appearances over those two spells. He had 60 odd clean sheets. Pav was a solid, reliable goalkeeper. You were able to rely on him. And he loved the Toon as well, right? Pavel was a Geordie. Great shout. he was in, like, it was a toss for me. It was between Pavel and Given. The difference for me with Given was I just thought he was a wee bit more agile. So for a little dude, he just had a bit more agility. And if you're talking like top corner saves and stuff, I'd probably be putting my money on Shay to get up there, maybe a wee bit quicker than Pav. But Pav's an excellent choice.
6 asides though, so the goals are smaller anyway. But my choices are between Pavel Srnicek and Tim Krul, and yeah, it's got to be Srnicek for me.
I got my picture taken with Pav. He was in the where I gave up my season ticket in the 2012-2013 season. That was the last season I had my season ticket. And we were at bar 1892. I think it was on China Street. We were in there and he was up there. There was him and Robbie Elliott was there one week. But aye, just such a nice man. Always had the time for fans and stuff like that as well. Great goalkeeper, but as I said, I focused more on. I've probably new style management and focused on feet of your goalkeeper rather than the hands and the saves and the shot stopping.
Final round. Who completes you, Blaine?
So I don't know if I suggest this name and then end the podcast forever because everybody hates me, or if I go for a fan favourite. So I tell you what, I will tell you who that I'm stuck between, and then I'll let you can make the final decision if you want. All right. So the great rat himself, Alexander Isak. And I know it's a tough one at the minute, but when he was here, he was sensational. He was skillful. He could shoot. He could score. He can dribble. He's quick. The other one that I'm tossed between for a 6-a-side team, he would never make my 11, but for a 6-a-side team, Alan St. Maximin. Because he would be able to take on all 5 boys that's outfield.
It's got no finishing product though, is he?
Nah, that's but I've got Shearer.
So which one are you picking? Just for clarity
But
here.
he couldn't cross the ball either.
Who are you going?
I'll take the hate. Do you know what? I'm going to flip it completely, and I think I need actually another stronger defensive-minded player. I am going for the destroyer, Tiote. He's going to be there, clean up everything. Nobody's getting past him. A wee bit of support for Lewis Hall and Bruno. Tiote. There we go. Done and dusted.
Take the room. It sounds absolutely nothing like Alexander Isak or I forgot who the fucking other one you say is like what what? Keep in with what you just suggested in the slightest, and also I guess by my reaction that he was on my bloody list as well. So not only but he scored 1 goal with Newcastle. What a goal it was he scored, right? The timing, the ambience from where we won in the game. But you're absolutely right. He's just going to blitz boys away.
I think all Newcastle fans can agree that he scored 2 goals. That one against Man City should always have stood.
Stand corrected, Marcus. Apologies. But for the official rankings, keep in. It's the Arsenal one that it still stands and counts, and the one that we'll probably never forget as well, right? What a player Cheek was as well. And again, one that probably wasn't there for a great deal of time, but one you could probably argue is cult status as well, right? Like, yeah, but Cheek Tiote, everybody will remember him. The Mohawk.
Honestly, he was sensational, and actually, Cabaye is on my list as well. And him and Cabaye, that partnership they had, the one that was the enforcer, just broke everything up, done all the dirty side of the game. The solidness in front of the back four. Now you've got to remember, we had we had 2 centre halves, say like Cole and Mike Williamson. Could you imagine like a Tiote playing in this team right now? We're 6.
Don't you mean Joe Linton?
He'd be better than Joe Linton. Like
bad word said about Iron Mike either, by the way. Right, big Iron Mike. Halves, centre half. No beating. No messing about by Iron Mike either.
But I think if you were to look at old school teams, I think Tiote would actually fit in this side that we've got currently right now and actually complement it, because he would be that deep lying 6 and allow like a Bruno and a Tonali to play as 8s and actually show what they can do moving forward. So, aye, check Tiote.
And if you're picking Tiote, then that leaves me no alternative, Blaine, than to pick the dream vote himself to complete my team in Johan Cabaye. So, although not necessarily is renowned for doing the dirty stuff, certainly got the luxury of that pass. So, to complement and complete my six-a-side team, I'm going with Johan Cabaye, who is, so looking at the picture just now, he makes my wall, the NUSS wall of pictures. There's only three of them up there. One of them's David Ginola, one of them's Cheik Tiote, and one of them is Johan Cabaye. And there's Bobby Robson up there as well, bless him. But yeah, big team, you know, if I got Pardew, bringing in guys like Cheik Tiote and Johan Cabaye, class signings, and yeah, still live with us now, right? We're still talking about them tonight, including them in our side as well. So it shows kind of what impact that they've had on us as well.
That was Graham Carr, isn't it? He was the chief scout at that time. Alan Carr's dad.
Alan Carr's dad. I had him in Eve when I first seen that Alan Carr's dad was Graham. Aye. But again, you've brought on some good players, Graham, as well. He one of Ashley's men, though, wasn't he?
No, I think that was always the issue. Is he was tasked to find these players that where nobody was looking. Bottom basements, even like your Debussy's, Moussa Sissoko when he came in, kind of like that.
We had the French window. Like, if you remember, we had that French revolution. I remember the strawberry bar converted to La Fraise for the weekend. It was no like Marvaux, Aubertin, Cabaye came in. There was a few of the French brigade come over and joined us.
I was going to say, could you name all the ones who were bought in that January transfer window? I think I could have a stab at it. There was Yanga Mbuya was the centre half.
Centre half, Mbuya, French.
Johan Gouffran.
Goof.
Moussa Sissoko. There was Massimo Hidara.
Left back.
Left back. And I'm not sure, did Marvaux not arrive in the summer? Matthias Debussy. Right back. It came in Lille, like Johan Cabaye's best mate. What a window. But I remember the French day. And all
everyone
the
wearing the berets and stuff.
The people walking with the chainy garlic cloves round their neck and stuff like that.
Yeah, that and the stripy t-shirt and all that. Total stereotypical French carry on as well. But that was an exciting window, right? Brought in a load of these boys as well, not what you say. But that was kind of where we were at that time, I think, was shopping around the likes of Holland, shopping around the kind of France. So we were still looking at Europe, but we weren't kind of looking out for your kind of top players at the time. And like Remy, another Frenchman that we got on as well.
He was on loan though, wasn't he?
Never fall in love with loan players, right? I was just, I was a big Remy fan as well. I thought he'd come in, he looked good, he looked lively. You able to keep him fit as well. He was a good player, like Remy.
He was a great player. What did he get? 14 goals that season he was here on loan, and we were a shocking side, to be honest.
Yeah.
He actually reminds me, or Ekitike reminds me a wee bit of like Remy. The way that he's kind of that gangly legs, the way he's running style. But we've seen it before. How many boys have went to Chelsea and then never really kicked on since? Well, there's like Remy, Demba Ba is just at least two of the ones that's actually went for Newcastle essentially, and never really done it. And I think if you were to give like Remy the chance to reverse time and sign for Newcastle again, I think he would potentially do it.
Hindsight, wonderful thing, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Marcus, complete the lineup. How's your final pick in the draft?
I'm spoilt for choice still, and I'm the last pick, so it's a bit of an aerial threat. So, you two both seem to have had a bit of a curveball, so here's mine, and it's Andy Carroll. I think, and Andy Carroll pre-Liverpool. I don't think there's anyone beaten an Andy Carroll in the air. He might not have been the best, but I've got Andy Cole there. Like, you'll just lump, Cernicek or whatever can bump the ball up. Andy Carroll, nod it down. Andy Cole, bang, in you go. See you later. Shake your hand. Thank you very much. See you later.
I think you can argue Andy Carroll was good with a football at his feet as well in terms of taking a shot and taking it from distance and stuff. He wasn't just all about, wasn't a one-trick pony for me, Andy Carroll. I think he brought a wee bit more to his game about it that season. You look at some of the goals that he scored from outside the box as well. Similar to Duncan Ferguson, to be fair for me. Two quite similar players, actually. Probably didn't get as much credit for their footballing ability as what people just thought they were kind of big bully boys, right? Big physical lumps that are coming and throw their weight about. It's an interesting shout as well. Andy Carroll.
Yeah,
I've got one for you, lads. Did you have anybody on your list, or did you have anybody that you wanted to put on your list but you couldn't, simply because what they done or the character they become? Because I've got one in my mind where I think if I was able to pick him before his Newcastle days, he would have been in my team all day, every day, and that would have been Michael Owen.
Michael Owen.
Aye.
Yeah.
Like,
Tell me
if
about
you
Owen.
think Liverpool, Real Madrid days, basing it on that player, that Ballon d'Or winner, in your six-a-side team, he would make it. But I just couldn't possibly put him in my team. It'd be worse than St. Isak.
I thought about it, and I'll tell you, so that cabinet behind me, these bloody wee stupid football figures that we were talking about earlier on, that one there is David Batty, who's actually on my list as well. I thought maybe needed a bit of an enforcer. David Batty made my list this evening. The only figure I've not got that has been done in a Newcastle kit that you can get is Michael Owen. Can't bring myself a bloody by the figure. I just not put it in my collection. I remember seeing that bloody video. It was at Neville Southall, and they were saying some wee kid in the goal or something like that. Michael Owen went fucking led in the Shearer celebration after putting it past a 14-year-old goalkeeper on like a television show. That just says all you need to know. But that was him at a young age. You think he's going to grow out of that? He didn't. He kept arrogant. He was quite egotistical. But in terms of footballing ability, like as you say, Ballon d'Or winner, he was just so good. He just played so many minutes, but at such a young, ripe age as well. He was burnt out well before he got to us, right? It was he was on the kind of scrap heap.
His goal against Argentina, I mean, to score a goal like that for your country against such a big opponent as Argentina at such a big stage as well. And then, yeah, I understand what you're saying, but yeah, I wouldn't have him anywhere near my Newcastle team.
No, and that's it. That's what I'm saying. He's one who, on purely ability and taking everything else away, he would probably make it. But I couldn't bring myself to select him. I was on the fence about Isak. Never mind Owen.
Yeah, so I think the player that probably almost made it for me was Gary Speed. I think the guy just oozed class. He was anything you wanted him to be. There wasn't a place on that pitch where he couldn't have played. Midfield held his own, but I think if someone had said to him, you need to go and play goalkeeper, he would have absolutely done it. It's just, as long as he was on the pitch showing the class that he's got, he would have done it.
That should be a left back as well, Gary Speed, right? He's just been all over that pitch for years, you say, Marcus. An absolute great shot. Well, it's not over yet, because although I said I didn't have any curveballs earlier on, I'm going to throw you one curveball tonight. You've got a six-a-side team, but actually, what happens if somebody gets injured? You're going to need somebody up the reins. So, Blaine, you got one substitution. Who are you going to bring in to support that carefully crafted side that you've made?
This is a hard one because it'd have to be somebody who could almost play everywhere. So it could almost be a Gary Speed. I'm going to keep it current. I'm going to pick an engine who could move forward and backwards, who's tenacious in the tackle, who could pass, who could run. And I'm going to go for Sandro Tonali.
Nice. That's an interesting. That's not where I thought you were going with it. But yeah, I like it. A good shift in there.
Yeah.
Marcus, I'm going to be gracious and concede because I appreciate you being at the back end of the queue picking most of the evening. So I'm going to allow you to go first in terms of picking your substitution, buddy.
So I think me and Blaine were almost on the simple, because I had Tonali on my list as well. And that's probably who I would have went for as well. But going down a similar line of strong in the tackle, good at passing, I'm going to go for probably pound for pound one of the best signings we've made, certainly in my lifetime, and it's Fabian Shearer.
That's actually a fairly decent pick, to be honest.
That's a good show. He's on my list
I
as
mean,
well.
and if my six-a-side team was camped on your goal line, which, let's face it, after my six, they're going to be. If for any lucky reason your goalkeeper tries to punt it over the top, he'll be there, sweep up, and he'll just shoot from 50 yards and slam it in the top corner.
You'd have to get the ball off Gaza first.
I'm torn between my last one, and I'll let you know who they are. So Obafemi Martins was one of mine in terms of being able to strike a ball from anywhere on the pitch. He's rapid as well, right? You getting down that
Right.
six-a-side football pitch before Fleet Valverde even opened his eyes in the morning. The other one I'm concerned that is vulnerability at the back. Should Captain Call pick up an injury, we've not really got a lot of defensive cover there. You're looking for somebody maybe a wee bit reliable that can take the ball forward as well, but a ball carrier. So my backup is going to be Mr. Warren Barton. Barton, who was actually our record signing at the time. Was he not the record defender signing when we actually signed him as
Aye.
well from Wimbledon? So reliable, so honest, so determined, crafty, gritty, yeah, just everything you want in a professional football player. And he's just a really nice guy just to chuck into the mix as well. Just an all-time great. So Warren Barton makes it ahead of Obafemi Martins, and I'm willing to take the risk that if Duncan does get suspended, we'll adjust the formation, and guys like Peter Beardsley and Warren Robert and the Dreamboat himself will pick up the slack and get the goals.
Aye. A couple of guys that almost made my team. It's when you said Obafemi Martins, and then you were going to compare. I thought it was going to be too similar. I actually had Craig Bellamy on my list. Simply just because he was frightening in regards to his speed. He was electric. And Kieran Dyer was also on my list as well.
Well,
who
he's
I
good for a
thought
fight.
was-
Imagine him and
One of the
Duncan
Brad
Ferguson
Pitt.
together.
Aye. But I thought Kieran Dyer was sensational. Like, he was one of my favourites growing up as well. I had a few people on my shirts growing up. I had a Woodgate who almost made it. Jermaine Jenis, the pure gold shirt with the black stripes. Jenis 7 on the back, and Dyer. So they were the guys who almost made my team.
What about you, Taylor?
In terms of who almost made it, as I say, I think David Batty. I really thought long and hard about David Batty. I just thought he was dead great. I just thought he was brilliant. He was like the kind of, I was just not messing about with Batty, right? He'd be a kind of Bruno or Joe Linton of the day as well. I think I was gutted I never got Tiote. Nobby Solano made my list as well. Him and Duncan had a
Yeah.
great relationship on the pitch.
He's on my
Nobby
list.
whipping the balls in. Yeah, so probably Nobby Solano was the one that was on. Fabian Schär made my list as well. I was disappointed to miss out on Ben Arfa, and I was disappointed to miss out on Tiote, but I'm pretty comfortable with the team that I've got.
Yeah.
Got my first choice goalkeeper, got my first choice centre half. I knew Shearer was out the window, so I thought I'd do something a bit different with the striker, as you've done as well, Mark. Guess. So, just before we finish up, I'm going to ask the audience to pick and vote what they think the best team is. So, Blaine, just for the audience, can you recap your team from the back forward?
So I have the formidable, remember about his passing ability, Aaron Ramsdale in goals. Lewis Hall, Czech Tiote, Bruno Guimaraes, Paul Gascoigne, and Alan Shearer.
Marcus, can you run us through your team from the back to the front, mate?
I have Cernacek in goal, Philip Albert as a Roman defender, Rob Lee, midfield general. And I've got Ben Arfa with that bit of flair, Andy Carroll is up for a bit of a scrap, and then Andy Cole to stick it in the back of the net.
I'm actually I'm looking at my team now. I'm still confident in the stuff, but Andy Cole scores a goal, right? You know, you're Alan Shearer. It's hard to compete with that, and I knew it would be hard to compete. So I've went with Shay Given, captain, Colaccini. In the middle, we're going with Cabaye, Robert, and Peter Beardsley. Up front, we've got Duncan Ferguson leading the line, and on the subs bench, we've got Warren Barton in case anything goes down. Let us know in the comments who would have been in your team and which of those 3 teams you think is best. And what will happen is we'll start keeping a bit of a league table as we go through some of these special episodes, and we'll kind of give the lads some points on the back of it as well.
While we're on it, I think because you threw a curveball and we've just picked our best 6-a-side team, I think it only seems fair to throw a curveball back at yous and pick the worst Newcastle manager to manage to manage all 3 of those teams. So, Taylor, who are you going for first?
The worst manager.
The worst manager.
To be fair, there's a few of them.
There's a joke in here somewhere, isn't there? There's not a joke in here somewhere. I'm going to buy some, but yeah. But it wasn't fair. You got put in a situation that who would refuse a job at Newcastle, but for me, there's Joe Kinnear was really difficult to put up with me, so he's running my mob.
To be fair, it's only right that you've picked Joe Kinnear because you've got Johan Kebab in your 6-a-side team anyway, so that makes sense. And Insomnia almost made your team as well, didn't it?
Charles Insomnia.
He looked like he wanted he looked at Shane Ferguson and thought he looked like a good player, right? He was a bloody player out on loan.
Aye, he was at Birmingham or something like that. Mental.
Who's managing your mob then, Blaine, in terms of poor managers?
So I'm going to go for a man who I believe claimed is probably the best coach in the league at the time, and I'm Mr. John Carver, because I think he won something like 3 out of 20 games. And although he's doing us proud of what he's doing for the work at Scotland at the moment, purely based on a Newcastle manager point of view, it'd probably be him or either Bruce, to be fair.
You were never going to pick Ruud Gullit, were you? Because he would have benched Alan Shearer.
I wouldn't pick Gullit because I really like saying his name. I call Ruud Gullit Voldemort because he shall not be named in this house.
And for my manager, I am torn between 2 Steves. Is it Steve Bruce or Steve McLaren?
Steve.
I mean, it's between a rock and a hard place, isn't it? I think we'll probably go for Steve McLaren.
Nothing more fitting, right, than having a less desirable manager and leading our probably most desirable teams that we'd like to see represented on a pitch. That was really, I don't know about you lads, but I really enjoyed that episode tonight. So many thanks to the viewers who suggested that we review our teams. I really enjoyed that. Massive thanks to our sponsors for sponsoring the show and allowing us to come on, have a good crack as well. If you've got any ideas of anything you want to see included in the special episodes going forward, let us know. Make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss the show. Blaine, brilliant, but I think your team's getting picky from mine. Marcus, pleasure as always, buddy. Your team might be in a bit of a mix, but I'm not having Blaine's. He might have the king of goals and Shearer, but Ramsdale, dude, behave.
Of all the keepers to choose from.
Aye.
Look after yourself, everyone.